Imagine this. Hsien Yang, the younger son of Singapore's founding Prime Minister Kuan Yew, now a political refugee in the United Kingdom, has come forward with shocking allegations. He claims that in the decade since his father's death, Singapore has seen increasing repression and corruption, claims that have triggered a firm response from the Singapore government. They've called it a personal vendetta and say it's an international smear campaign against his family and country. But why would Hsien Yang take these allegations public now? And how does Singapore's government counter his accusations? Lee's interview with AP News, published on October 31st, outlines a deeply personal account of his struggles. He says he's faced a campaign of persecution to silence him, citing examples that he says illustrate corruption, including a high-profile billion-dollar money laundering case and the One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, scandal. But there's more to this story. Singapore's government doesn't just dismiss his claims, they're also pointing to findings from disciplinary tribunals and the Court of Three Judges, which concluded that Lee and his wife misled his father regarding his will. Are these legal decisions enough to discredit Lee's claims? Or could there be more beneath the surface? The Singapore government highlights that Hsien Yang is a major beneficiary of the Singapore system, a system they say has provided stability and high rankings in international anti-corruption indices both before and after Lee Kuan Yew's death. But why, then, does Lee insist that things have changed for the worse? The government also argues that Lee's campaign isn't about principles, as they claim his alleged persecution to block his son, Lee Shengwu, from politics, a claim the government finds dubious since Lee Shengwu has reportedly denied any political ambitions. This family drama, intertwined with Singapore's political landscape, raises critical questions about power, legacy, and transparency. The government points to examples like the recent prosecution of former Transport Minister Iswaran and other cases, suggesting that Singapore takes corruption seriously regardless of status. They add that Singapore remains unique in Southeast Asia for its consistent constitutional adherence, regular elections, and growing opposition representation in parliament. They further argue that Hsien Yang and his wife, despite their claims, are still Singapore citizens and have always been free to return. Now, viewers, what do you think? Could there be merit in Lee's claims, or do the Singapore government's explanations paint a clearer picture of a stable, corruption-free society? Is this just a family feud that's spilled into the international arena, or does it expose deeper issues within Singapore's political system? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Hsien Yang's campaign is based on principles or personal grievances? And how do you interpret the government's strong rebuttal? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to 2230 for more in-depth analyses and factual news that keeps you engaged.